Good morning. I have a faulty nail drill here this morning. It's the ones the girls use to fix their nails. This is like a spindle. It's like a little tools you put in here, and then you file your nails. But this is one of the little bit upmarket ones. It has a nice bearing assembly inside. But the problem is with this the dial. If you it's a speed control. The speed control doesn't work. So I'm gonna open it and see if I can see something inside there. Let me just plug in this thing so you can see what is happening here. There's a motor. And it has a speed control also, just a speed control, just a on off for the feet from your that you control. Let me just plug it in here. You can see, and then you put it on. Okay. You see, this thing doesn't wanna go. It definitely looks like something inside here. Like a potentiometer here is a problem. So we'll have to open it. See if I can't see anything. Let's just plug it out. And let's open it here on the bottom. Let's get all the here's now a whole PCB. Here's an on off and a reverse and a forward motor in here. And let's just open it here. See what's happening here. You can firstly see there's some acetone that there was a LED that's supposed to be in here. It came off, and then the dust and the stuff goes in there. So what I can see here, let's just open here. Here is your transformer. The AC goes to, see, output 23 volt 1 amp, and then you have a transistor. There's your rectifier. There's your smoothing cap, and then there's just a resistor. But here is, let's just check here, it's an LM317. So obviously this LM317 is the speed control that work with your, yes, your, but if I hear the potentiometer, I can hear it's not nice. Something's wrong inside there. So there's obviously the problem. Let's just take all the metal parts in here. If I gonna go, they just test it. I reckon if I put the pedal in here and the motor in here, and I can short this out with a piece of metal, then it will run. Just plug it in again. Okay, now we can let's short out these two wires here. So this is a bit of a problem there. Maybe what I must first do is I'm gonna just short out just to, let's just check the feed pedal first. Now I have to figure out what is wrong with the thing. Let's just put on a multimeter. You can see if the pedal is working. You're gonna put this there. See, 1 ohm, so it's working. The pedal is also not good because it's, even if it's not pressed, it's not good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just short out the two. Oh, I see something here. I don't know. This, maybe you can work it with a pedal, without the pedal. If you know that is no track there, so I can just short out those 2 points there. Then I don't need to worry about the Then I just need to go and find a piece of wire here. So I'm going to take a piece of a resistor, the leg of one resistor. I'm just going to short out this McGafter here. Okay, that is out of the way now. Now I can go and let's remove this potentiometer. So there's a label here that you need to remove to take the potentiometer out. Put it there, and now you have a screw you have to undo here. Okay, that is out of the question now. Okay, now let's start again. Let's just see if you don't see any bad solder joint, maybe dry joints. I don't see any dry joints. Okay, let's just assume that is okay now. And now we're going to switch the on off. It's on. Still nothing. If I short out the potentiometer, still not running. The speed is still not running. Okay, the next job is to go and see. You have to see if the motor is running. So at least let's put on my power supply. And now you can manually I think the problem is here by the motor. You can see the motor is it. It just make a click sound here. So now we can remove this. So the problem is not here. Let's take out this assembly there. Just come out here. See, there's a motor sits here. Here's your motor. There's a little motor. Now you can power up the motor. So the motor is going. Nothing wrong with the motor. Okay, now let's just test this machine without the other part. We're just going to put this back and plug this in here. You see, he has no control over the speed here. So this is the other side around. There's absolutely no control. So there's a problem with the electronics here. Oh no, what is that switch in the back? FH, full. I don't know what that's the meaning of that. So there's power, the motor is running, but there's no control. So something tells me it's maybe but at least the motor is running. But let's check here, must be something wrong here. That also seems that there's no problem there. Well, let's put this back. There's a small wheel here. Come on. So there's no problem again. Here's the issue here with this whole assembly here. This thing is very, very hard to move. Here's the bearings. There is it. But as I say, there's no control of the potentiometer, so I think that the speed control is not good. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure the ohm value of the, let's measure the ohm value of the potentiometer. Here, this probe works better. Okay, there's 8K, 7K, 33 ohms. So this potentiometer is working. 1K. So obviously let me just unplug it here. You see the potentiometer is here. And you can always trace it. And then you'll see it's been connected to the 317 sitting here. So the LM317 is maybe faulty. We can swap this LM3. Okay, you can see now you search, you see that transistor is a tip 142. It's a Darlington pair transmitter. This is your pinouts. Now I'm just looking for a replacement for that. I'll see if I have something that I can put in there. I think it's obviously the problem here. Alright, I found a other transistor, but it's not the same package. It's this casing is a 2N3773, because this one is a N channel, so NPN. So this also NPN. So I'll somehow make it fit here for the heatsink and put the wires over here. So let me just remove this transistor here. So it's plugged out. Always make sure your 220 volt is out. And again, let's take some solder wick to clean it. Now let's, for interest's sake, let's just take the multimeter and just measure this transistor. If you can always see when there's an issue, there's a short. It's at 23 ohms. Normally it must be a few K ohm value. So I think this one is short, is kaput. So obviously there's a problem. And now I need to make this fit. I'm going to put wires on here and we're going to then screw it on there for the heatsink. Let's make the wires Just bend the wires upwards. I'm just going to go quickly put some wires on here. Okay, I solder this wires on here on the pins. Under this casing, if you have this with the top, the spacing here is a problem. It's a little bit higher up. Then the base is the left-hand one, the emitter design, and the collector, the casing. For the casing, you can't solder on here, so I put a piece of a solder tag on here to make a contact. So I'm gonna screw this on here, and this, let's just put first in this thing in, then this, but then I need to put some solder, this thermal grease on here, just for this casing to make contact. You see, just put some there. This is a lead oxide, it's heavy, these things. And then I'm gonna screw this thing on there now. Let's get it out of the way. Now I go to screw this casing on there. Okay, now that paste is gonna make contact there. Make sure it doesn't short out anywhere. So now there's no shorts there. Now what can happen? Now this transistor, the base is on the left hand side. Now the base here is this one. I'm gonna put it there. And then the emitter is here. And that one emitter was on the right hand side. Just put it there. Now this thing is a bit full of solder. Let's bend this thing. Maybe we must first solder this one on. Let's do the base first. Okay, that is on. Now the emitter, just the right hand side. This thing is like spring form, and I'm gonna stay there. Just bend it over a little bit, yeah. Let's conceive your solder here. Okay, now is the casing is the collector, and that collector was in the middle there. Same problem. Okay, now you can okay, that's been soldered. Take all the metal parts out here, and now we're going to test this thing. Let's make sure the casing is not soldered anywhere. Like, just let's resolder this. Why is it difficult? Just to make it so the heat sink is nice and secure. So now that heat sink, so yeah, make sure they don't short out there. The legs, just fasten it properly. Would have been better if you put maybe a screw with a nut on that side. Okay, let's plug it in and see what's happening now. So this on, off, on. The volume is down. Then we can plug it in. You see, there is it. There is it. So it was this tip 142 transistor that's faulty. But you can hear this thing makes a noise. Is that bearing? I'll just have to oil it again. Now you can see with the speed, when the speed is on the lowest, then is when this transistor works the hardest. Then you can just feel the heat. Let it run for a while. So this transistor, this type of package they also use in the power supplies, and this is a high amp package, so it can handle a lot of current. So it's working, so no issue here. Okay, let's switch it off. Okay, while we're busy, it's actually, while you have this potentiometer open, just go and give it some oil. Sometimes this makes it noisy and it's scratchy, that doesn't work lekker. Okay, now what we're going to do now, I just want to put some, I would like to put some glue, but there's no space here actually for some glue, just to keep this thing. But we will check. We have a lot of these things. If it shorts out, we can always make a new one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a piece of, this is not the right thing to do, but I'm going to take a piece of rubber and just get a piece of rubber here. Take a piece of rubber and we cut it open. We're going to put it underneath there. Just push this in there. So this one decided to move. Then it will be secure. And that will work. Okay, now I have to put the reverse engineering. Just put this thing back. Just show. There's the sticker. Speed control. And there's a, just go by the minimum and then you make sure it's on the correct side. Okay, now we're going to put this thing upside down in again. Just make sure the LED is in there, in its place where it's supposed to be. I think it fell out there. We can put this 220 volt in there. See, now the problem is that transistor is touching. This thing is touching there. This is a bit of an issue. So this is gonna clean here. It's not full of oil here. In a case like this, now you have to actually go and bend this thing. Get a long nose here. Let's see if it'll work. So there's still some issues there. I knew that's going to be a problem. They just unplug this thing and this thing. Let's unscrew this thing a bit. I'm just going to put it in a vise and cut it off with my hacksaw. Okay, you can see I cut off the top of the side of the casing. Maybe it will make contact now. Just put this potentiometer back, the AC back, the LED in there. Let's try again. I think that is alright. That is okay. Now we can put the back. Okay, let's just. Now we have to go and take this foot pedal out again. And wanna. Okay, now we put this back. Put the screw. Okay, that's it. Let's plug it in. Okay, plug it in and plug in the foot pedal. Plug in the AC. Reverse forward. And this thing still doesn't work. I don't know why. So obviously there's something wrong with this foot pedal. Let's open this foot pedal and see what is going on here. So here's take it out here. So it's just a micro switch in here. So this micro switch is also kaput. Now let's put in another micro switch. There's the two screws. Okay, now you can see this micro switch does even work. This is klaar. can open the switch. You can see inside here. This mechanism is it's not good. It's supposed to go up and down. So this is shot. And take this one and we put it in the dustbin. Okay, here's a new micro switch. There's still the new wires on here. I just make sure it's the right. Here's this one. So it's the right orientation. Just solder this wires on here quickly. Okay, now we're gonna put this thing back. See, now these two things is the other way around. Let's go like this. Go like that. And you fasten that screw. Okay, let's try again. That's it. That's how you fix a nail file. I'm just gonna have to clean this. What I do with this bearing assembly, you take this whole thing, you wash it in. It's noisy. There's two main bearing and the small bearing. You wash it in acetone. What is that fluid? Spirits or benzene. Then when it's out, you dip it in. You just heat it up a little bit. Put it in a lot of oil, and you run it inside the oil, and the oil goes all over the place inside here in the bearings. It's sealed bearings, but somehow oil does go in there. And then you just wipe it and shake it and wipe it, and then it's okay for a while. Let's go like this. And food. There's always an issue with this motor, how to get it back. I think you have to maybe first make sure that one is in there. Okay, now you can fix your wife's nail machine by replacing that faulty transistor. As I said, there's a LM317 for the volume, for the speed control, and then it controls this transistor for the main output. It can handle all the current with the heatsink. So, okay, I hope you enjoyed this video this morning. Till next time, cheers.